See what's new in RAD Studio 10.4 Sydney. The largest and best improvement to Delphi's code tooling in many years, RAD Studio 10.4 provides code insight using a Delphi implementation of the Language Server Protocol, also known as LSP. LSP is a technique for calculating results for code completion, navigation, or similar in a separate process. This means that the IDE will never block while completing, and Code Insight will provide accurate results. As part of the major Delphi Code Insight improvements, we've also modified the filtering logic, making it easier to find the property or method you want to invoke. This works across the various components and features and lets you modify and search for the symbols that are available. This also works for parameter completion. For errors in your code, you will see a red squiggle in the editor and an error in the structure view until the error is resolved. The LSP mechanism also works while you're debugging, so you can keep changing your code while the debugger is running. RAD Studio 10.4 provides a much enhanced developer productivity experience when working with large projects with millions of lines of code. In RAD Studio 10.4, the Delphi language has been extended to include the concept of managed records. These are records that can indicate which code is going to be executed when the record is initialized, finalized, and when there's a copy operation or an assignment between two different records. With managed records in 10.4, Delphi developers now have the ability to customize how records get created, copied, and destroyed by writing the code to be executed at the various steps. This adds additional power to records in Delphi, a construct used to achieve better efficiency compared to classes. With the new VCL Per-Control Styling capabilities, you can now use multiple VCL styles in different forms within a single application, or even different visual controls that are on the same form. This also includes support for styling any element using the default platform theme, and also enables you to use third-party unstyled controls within a styled VCL application. For example, you can easily define a different style for each button on your form. This provides great customization options for building best-in-class Windows 10 applications with RAD Studio 10.4. RAD Studio 10.4 includes a new VCL web browser component, TEdgeBrowser, that uses Microsoft's new Edge WebView 2 control based on Chromium. This offers a much more modern HTML engine compared to the old T-Web browser based on Internet Explorer. The classic T-Web browser component has also been extended, allowing browser controls in an existing application to use either the existing Internet Explorer or Edge browsers for display, depending on the browser available on the system. 10.4 also introduces a new VCL component, TTitleBarPanel and custom title bars, allowing you to customize a VCL form's native Windows title bar to build modern enhanced title bars. You can place VCL controls on the Windows title bar, control the default painting of elements such as the window icon and caption, add new custom system buttons near the minimize, maximize, and close buttons, or even custom paint the title bar entirely. With TTitleBarPanel and custom title bars in RAD Studio 10.4, you can now build modern enhanced title bars similar to the most popular word processing and web browser applications today. The VCL styles architecture has been significantly extended in RAD Studio 10.4 to support high DPI and 4K monitors. We've updated a large number of our built-in and premium VCL styles to provide support for the new high DPI style mode, letting you design visually stunning applications for any monitor. All user interface controls on a styled VCL form are now automatically scaled for the proper resolution of the monitor the form is displayed on. The Style API has been fully revised to support high DPI styles. Each user interface element can be selected from a library of multi-scale versions and scaled to any DPI, resulting in crisp UI elements on all monitors. We've made numerous enhancements to the IDE in RAD Studio 10.4. The IDE and key dialogs use the new T-Custom Title Bar control to implement search and settings on the title bar, enabling native look and feel and Windows DWM behavior. The code editor in RAD Studio 10.4 includes several productivity improvements. The syntax highlighter that is being used for the current file is displayed in the status bar. Clicking this lets you choose a different syntax highlighter, which can be useful when comments contain a different language, such as XML. The file encoding used for the current unit is now displayed on the status bar. Clicking this displays a menu allowing you to quickly change the file encoding. There's also a new setting to control the file encoding used when creating new units, which can be found in the Options dialog. In RAD Studio 10.4, the default encoding for a new unit remains ANSI. The status bar now has a font size trackbar and increase and decrease buttons. Dragging this or clicking the plus and minus buttons will change the font size on the fly. C++ Builder 10.4 introduces a new debugger for Win64 C++. With a focus on debugger stability and debugger productivity features, the new debugger is based on a recent version of LLDB and has improved support debugging with a new debug format, which improves debugging for all data. It also has special support for evaluating complex data types. For example, here the debugger tooltip is evaluating an STL narrow string and wide string, inspecting a vector showing the length and contents, and as an example of a complex STL container, the length and contents of a stud map. This is done through LLDB formatters, and we ship formatters for many types, including VCL Unicode and ANSI strings, including UTF-8, shared pointer, and stud vector, dec, and map. Evaluation is shown in the debugger tooltip, evaluate, modify, watches, local variables, and more. Both the general improved debugging and the advanced visualization of complex types is a great productivity boost when debugging your Windows applications with C++ Builder 10.4. With RAD Studio 10.4, Delphi and C++ Builder developers can address the new launch screen requirement for iOS. Support is built into the IDE, making it easy for developers to create a new launch screen for their application. The launch screen uses a centered icon at different resolutions and different ones for light and dark mode, a background color for each of the modes, and developers can also replace it with their own custom-built launch storyboard. Through the new Metal Driver GPU support for macOS and iOS in RAD Studio 10.4, Delphi developers can now build macOS applications against the Metal API rather than the old Quartz API and OpenGL. FireMonkey Metal support offers a smooth migration to future requirements and better performance for screen rendering. In 10.4, we've also added support for the Metal API on iOS for Delphi and C++ Builder. Visit Embarcadero.com today to download a trial.